everyone, welcome to Kay's Cakes, the show where I veganize your favorite recipes. Now today we are continuing on our MCU Bake-a-Thon. So last time we made a cheesecake, a lemon raspberry cheesecake for Iron Man, and today we are on to the Incredible Hulk. So when I was deciding on a recipe, a thing I wanted to make for the Incredible Hulk, I was thinking, alright, strong green, but I need a really strong flavor. And so I ended up settling on a key lime pie. And this is actually really easy. A key lime pie, I feel like it's kind of a halfway point between a cheesecake and a pie because you don't actually need to bake the filling. You just need to bake the crust, and then the filling sets just like we did with the cheesecake last time. First, I'm going to start with the crust. It's a graham cracker crust. And that's going to need to be put in the oven. So I'm going to set my oven to 375. There it goes. Alright, so while that's preheating, I'm going to, it's really simple. I have these graham crackers that I got from Trader Joe's. I don't know if all brands of graham crackers are vegan, but these ones are. They're not gluten-free. We found out, unfortunately, during the camping trip that the gluten-free graham crackers were not also vegan, which was actually kind of funny. But these ones are definitely vegan. So I'm just going to take some of these. So I'm just going to take, that was a mistake I made last time, was I didn't make enough of the crust. So I had to add more Oreos. So I'm going to take about half the package, about 5 graham crackers. Some of these are already broken. It's getting them out of the plastic really hard. I'm going to put these in a bag. Now, if you have a food processor, you can do it with a food processor. I do not. So I'm just going to kind of beat these up with my rolling pin. Gonna make a little bit. I'm gonna crush a few more just to be sure. So this is now the whole package of graham crackers. They usually come with 4 packages in a box, so you should have some extra for sure. But you know, rather have too much than not enough. And my philosophy about baking and cooking is that the point is to just make something that tastes good, that, you know, I can share with other people and just have a good time. So it doesn't have to be perfect. My bakes are never perfect. In fact, I tried to candy some limes rather to put on top of this to make it look all pretty, and that did not turn out well. So we're not gonna decorate it that way. Anyway, it's okay to make some mistakes when you're baking, especially if it's a new recipe. All right, so there we go. Lovely, like, crushed up graham crackers. You get rid of that. And then just melt down a 1/4 cup of vegan butter. These are the Earth Balance butter sticks. I like these ones or Country Crock, but whatever your preferred vegan butter is will work. Boiling melted butter. Alright, we're just gonna pour that in the graham crackers. And I'm gonna grab my handy rubber spatula. Just kind of stir it around so all the graham crackers kind of get a little bit wet with the butter. It's not gonna be like soaking wet, but just like, you know, so they'll actually stick to each other in the pan. Okay. Oh, it's pretty good. And now I got my standard pie pan, nothing fancy. Just pour that right in. It might actually be too much crust. That's gonna be a thick crust pie. Just pack it in there. Either I made too much crust or this is a shallow pie tin. But it'll be fine. Like I said, as long as it tastes good, right? Okay, so my oven is still preheating, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna set my crust aside. So making the filling for this is actually really simple. It's just some basic ingredients, and you just put them in the pot and boil it, all of it. Okay, so the first thing is that it's a lime pie, so of course we want to get some, excuse me, of course we want to get some lovely lime juice in there. Sorry, I have a lot going on in my prep area right now. These limes are a little bit small, so my concern right now is that I'm going to end up not having enough juice. I know it's called a key lime pie, but a lot of places don't actually have key limes, so any sort of lime will do, to be honest. I would probably go with ones bigger than this. Okay, so before I finish that, I'm gonna put my crust in the oven. And it's really quick. We just want to blind bake. We're going to bake that crust off for about 10 minutes. See how it's doing after that, and then back to juicing my limes. Actually, before I juice the other two, I'm going to zest one of them. Just because it's way harder to zest once it's been juiced. You don't need as much lime zest as you do juice. Just 1 teaspoon of lime zest. So I'm going to try and get as much off of this as I can. It's probably enough zest. Alright, so I'm going to juice my other two. Alright, we're done with the limes. Really hoping that's enough lime juice. So we should end up with about half a cup of lime juice. It's just going to go right in the pot. And my zest, it's about a teaspoon. Okay, so that's where all our flavor is going to come from. And then 1 can of full fat coconut milk. This is actually coconut cream. I was not paying attention at the store, but you know, cream, full fat milk, it's not that far off. It's a little bit thicker than coconut milk, but it should work. So we're just putting all our ingredients in a pot. That's really all. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And normally a key lime pie is made with like egg yolks and stuff to help thicken it. We are going to be using a buttload of cornstarch to thicken it instead. So this thickens gravy and sauces. It is also going to thicken our key lime pie filling. So 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. If it sounds like a lot, that's because it is. But that's exactly what we need for this. 5, okay. But I want to go for a more Hulk-like look, so I'm going to add some green food coloring. If you don't want to, that's your prerogative, right? However you want to bake, you know, it's not adding any flavor, it's just for fun. looks more like a mint green, but we'll go with it. Mint green Hulk. Now there's a concept, right? Alright, wait for that to come. I'm just trying to get all the clumps out of the cornstarch. As you can kind of see it close in there. But yeah, we're gonna wait for that to boil. I want to watch the pot, and you know what they say. This is the part of the show where I make dumb jokes because we're just waiting for everything. Looks like a witch's cauldron. It's olive green. Okay, so now that it's at a boil, I'm actually going to turn the heat down and I'm going to let it cook for another 7 to 9 minutes. It looks like Slimer. I'm not going to lie, it looks like I'm cooking a giant booger, but it'll taste good. It looks like a Shrek poop. It's like, yeah, green brains. Green brains! Okay, let's check on the crust. That looks like a crust. So it sort of reminds me of like a New York cheesecake with the graham cracker crust. And I'm gonna also just turn it off because we don't need it for the rest. You know what? While we're waiting for that, I'm gonna whip up some whipped cream to go on top. So there are a lot of ways to make a vegan whipped cream. There are even like, what do we have? We have the almond milk ready whip, like that's pre-made, but you don't even have to do anything, which is nice. I think that's what I used in the last episode. But I want to show more than one method. So that was one. Another one is Silk makes dairy-free heavy whipping cream, which I'm seeing a lot more dairy-free alternatives coming out, which is great. I actually got very lucky because this was the last one that they had at the Target, which is actually the only place I've seen these, but I'm sure places like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's have dairy-free alternatives as well. And it works just like any other whipping cream. I'm just gonna put it in a bowl, making terrible squelching noises. And I have my hand mixer because I am sad and I don't have a stand mixer. But also, the kitchen is very small, so even if I had a stand mixer, there would be no place for it. So I have a hand mixer with the whisk attachment. I'm just gonna whisk up this whipping cream. I think that's pretty satisfactory for whipped cream. Put this funky looking boy into my crust. It's like a weird jello, huh? I don't think it would look so unusual if I hadn't put the food coloring in. It would just be like white. I'm gonna kind of smooth it out so we get like a nice even surface. Spread it out. I don't have much left in the pot. I don't know my ratios. Okay, there we go. That's a pie. And now, I don't know if I want to put the whipped cream on it while it's still warm. So if you're not putting anything on your pie, you're just eating it like that, then that's your last step. It just needs to go in the fridge for at least 5 hours to set. Overnight is preferable, but if you don't have time to make it the day before or
you know, whatever your circumstances are, just make sure you make it at least 5 hours before you want to serve it. If you are, I made the whipped cream a little bit early so I could show you guys, but because this filling was just cooked, if I put it on now, the whipped cream is going to melt, so I'm just going to put them both in the fridge and decorate it later.
Who wants the first place? Alright, so go ahead and comment any recipes you would like me to try to veganize. Subscribe if you want to catch the rest of the MCU Bake-a-Thon. Next time is we're going to be watching Iron Man 2, so the recipe is actually for Black Widow. And I will see you on the next one.